Welcome. We're happy to share some encouraging updates with you.
And for you, Sammy, Samuel Herd is here looking like a resurrected corpse where the resurrection went kinda wrong to tell us all about the changes in conventions and about their new pretend museums. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's begin.
Beginning with the 2026 convention series, the term special conventions will be replaced with international conventions. We'll have international conventions of varying sizes each year. As announced in our last update, we'll hold 19 international conventions around the world in 2026.
Why is this the only kind of new light that we get nowadays? This is the big new thing about their conventions, that now the special conventions, which were special because they were international, will now be called international conventions. Special conventions, unlike normal conventions, usually require an invitation to attend and are attended by Jehovah's Witnesses from other countries, called delegates, who also need an invitation to attend. These Jehovah's Witnesses from other countries are encouraged to wear not what they usually wear as Jehovah's Witnesses, but traditional, almost stereotypical garments to give the convention a more international feel. And the traveling Jehovah's Witnesses are expected to arrange their travels through the Jehovah's Witness arrangements, which reportedly generate a lot of money for the cult. Although there are thousands of conventions per year, there are only like a dozen or two special conventions scattered around the world, which are only supposed to be attended by good standing Jehovah's Witnesses. The average member will never attend one of these conventions, only hear about them and see the footage of them in jw.org. And Sammy is here to give the exciting news that those special conventions that most Jehovah's Witnesses never get to go to will now have a new name: international conventions. And that's not the only exciting news about a new Jehovah's Witness activity that most Jehovah's Witnesses will never get to go to.
In August 2025, a new visitors center was opened at the Central Europe branch office, located in Selters, Germany. Let's take a look.
I loved how Sammy delivered that line. Like, even he is tired of this BS. This is all about yet another pretend museum that Jehovah's Witnesses can attend so they can legitimize their faith and donate more money while they're in a spiritual high.
This unique Bible museum tells the story of the rich history and enduring impact of the German Bible. Visitors can see rare and fascinating Bibles produced during the very early years of Bible printing. Visitors will see how the Bible was initially printed in Latin, but later began to be printed in the German language.
As you can see, the Jehovah's Witnesses like to pretend like any effort to translate the Bible was a good effort because they themselves have their own translation of the Bible in multiple languages. This museum shows the history of the German translation of the Bible, and all this history and all these fascinating Bibles translated by legit scholars and translators are mere props to culminate in the last and best translation, the Jehovah's Witness version, which was never either translated by scholars nor by actual translators. As I said in a recent video on what the governing body would do if they knew that they were cult leaders, Bethel makes no sense anymore. Before, Bethel was the heart of the religion, where you could see this cult producing the valuable spiritual food that they had. But since they don't make books anymore, they've tried to shift these visits into museum visits, where they put together an exhibit and call it a museum. I've been meaning to go to one of those, so let me know if that's something that you'd like to see in this channel. Samuel talks about when Jesus healed the Phoenician woman, and then makes up that Peter used to read the letters that would become the Bible because he knew he needed spiritual food.
Peter acknowledged that some of the things Paul wrote about were hard to understand. Amen. But Peter didn't give up. He had faith that Jehovah would help him to understand and apply the solid food in those inspired letters. Like Peter, we must regularly feed on the truths of God's Word. We must develop an appetite for solid spiritual food, truths that may be hard to understand at first.
Jesus Christ, Sammy is old. This is kind of odd though, because I feel like it's the first time in a long time that I hear of them talking about spiritual food. When this cult sold books, spiritual food was everything they talked about, because Selling spiritual food was how they made their money. Nowadays, that notion seems almost as old as Sammy himself. He goes on to talk about clothing yourself with a new personality, aka the cult's personality, and hide in spiritual shelter, which, wouldn't you know it, it's being in the cult and doing things the way that the cult wants you to do them. And then he has two last amazing announcements.
To help us remember this key to happiness, Matthew 5:3 has been chosen as the year text for 2026. May we never forget these vital words. Happy are those conscious of their spiritual need. We're also excited to announce a new original song based on Matthew 5:3. It's entitled, My Spiritual Need.
How exciting. But this perfectly aligns with how the leaders of this religion are trying to update it. The only changes that this governing body seems to be willing to make to this religion are literal semantics. Changing the term disfellowshipping to remove, changing judicial committee to committee of elders, and now changing the name of special conventions to international conventions. I've seen some people say that this is a huge change because they think this change was applied to every convention for some reason, and some have even proposed that this is their new way of making money and that this is why the new governing body members are there, but that's all just misinformation, typical of slop content and damaging for our apostate reputation. In reality, this is like everything else they've changed, a simple cosmetic change on their cult terms. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget that you can subscribe and like and maybe support me like these guys over here if you want access to more content and even a downloadable Sparlock and other stuff that I have. I can't remember.